11. Good morning, students. Communication in English, GST111. Our lecturer today is Dr. Edadi Ilem Okan. Dr. Edadi Ilem Okan. Our topic for today is minor parts of speech. Minor part of speech. Recall that last week we discussed parts of speech. We define the term parts of speech. We simply say that part of speech is any of the classes into which all the words in English are being classified. So what we mean is that since we have 8 parts of speech, it means that we only have 8 words in English. 8 words in English, because it is this 8 parts of speech that all the words in English are being classified to. Any word can either fall into noun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, pronoun, conjunction, among others. We also differentiate between the 2 types of part of speech. We said one is minor part of speech and the other one is major part of speech. And we went further to discuss the major part of speech, which is noun, verb, adjectives, and adverbs. But we provided, I think, about 4 or 5 major differences between major and minor part of speech. What makes this set major part of speech? What makes this other set minor part of speech? We equally say that the major part of speech are the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, and the adverbs. That's what we said. And we say that they are major because, one, they can expand, they can accept new members. That is the most important thing we said. Why the minor cannot expand, cannot accept new members. The major are not limited, while the minors are limited. The major can be inflected. That is, morphemes can be added to them. Affixes can be added to them. The minor cannot be inflected. The major can't move with the affixes. It can move them to a different word class. For instance, if you add ly to beautiful, beautiful is adjective. But when you add the morpheme or the affixes ly to beautiful, it becomes beautifully. The morpheme has moved it from adjective to adverb. So the major part of it can be derivation, while minor part of it cannot be derived. So last week we discussed thoroughly on major parts of speech. Today our topic is on minor part of speech. Just like what we did last week, with each of the part of speech, we define, we classify. In each of the part of speech, we have sub-classification, and we broke them down last week to a level of understanding. The same we are going to observe in minor part of speech. But in today's class, we are going to divide the minor part of speech into 2. I'm going to anchor you in the first class for just 1 hour. Then later on, mathematics class will come in. Later after mathematics class, then we can finish it up, because we cannot exhaust the minor part of speech at the same time. Learning objectives. At the end of the topic, students should be able to, 1, define minor part of speech. Define minor part of speech. 2, list the minor parts of speech in English language. You need to list the minor part of speech. How many are there? You need to list it. Just like what you have done in the major part of speech. How many are there in major part of speech? How many are there in minor part of speech? Three, differentiate between major parts of speech and minor part of speech. It is very nice, just like what you did in last class. You would also need to differentiate. Even in the sentence, you need to tell, you need to prove, you need to differentiate, prove that this is a minor part of speech and the reason why it is a minor part of speech. 4, classify the minor part of speech into different styles. You also need to, each of the parts of speech has what? Its own sub-classification. There are different types and you can find them and we group them. So you need to know the different types of the part of speech. 5, identify the minor part of speech in the sentence. So the sentence is given to you and you were asked to identify the minor part. You need to identify it. You need to prove to us that this is a minor part of speech. This is a minor, and also give reason why it is a minor part of speech. In other words, you will need to know the function of the minor part of speech in the sentence, just like what we have done in last class, knowing the function of the major parts of speech in the sentence. And finally, indicate the function of each of the minor part of speech in the sentence. I think I've said that already. Definition of minor part of speech. Part of speech such as the pronouns, conjunctions, determinants, and prepositions, which grammarians classify as minor, functional, form, or grammatical parts of speech, are not open to new members. So like we said earlier, they cannot open to new members. What they are what they are. If they are 10, they are 10. Since last 1,000 years, then grammarians have identified them. They have not improved beyond that. But the major part of it keep expanding on daily basis because they accept new members. Do not accept inflections. We said it earlier, the major part of it will always accept inflection. We use beautiful, beautifully, beauty, beautiful as example, while the minor part of it does not, you cannot add inflation, for example, to a conjunction and or bed or to a preposition of. No, they do not, minor part of it do not accept inflections and are limited in number. The major part of it are very many, while these ones are not many. They have meaning only when they are in combination with the content word in the sentence. So it is only when they are in combination with the major part of speech, otherwise known as the content word, that we begin to see or identify the meaning they are talking about. Last week we explained it. This week also, the preposition, standing alone, you may not get enough meaning to what of is. But if a word such as a verb be stands alone, you already know that it has a morphological meaning, it has a dictionary meaning. But of is only having a meaning when it's used in a sentence. Yeah, just like even in preposition in indicating the directions. Pronouns, of the minor part of speech we stated last week, the minor part of speech are the pronoun, number 1, conjunction number 2, preposition number 3, and finally determinants. I think we also argue that interjection, some grammarians do not agree with the term or the concept interjection to be classified as part of speech or as minor part of speech. And for us, we have also neglected it. And we now consider this for pronoun, conjunction, preposition, and determinants. And these four are the ones that we are going to discuss today. Pronouns. What are pronouns? If you hear pronouns, what does it mean to you? I think some will always say pronoun in add to noun. Add to noun. Some will say replacing noun. Pronoun. So there is noun there. It has a link with noun. But I think the best definition of a pronoun is a word used to replace understood nouns or noun phrases in order to avoid unnecessary repetition of the same nouns or noun phrases. The words understood or the words understood nouns. Take note of the words understood nouns. Very, very important. Because before a pronoun is used, the noun that the pronoun is to replace must be understood. Otherwise, it will not have any meaning. You have to replace it with already mentioned noun that has been known before you use pronoun to replace it. And the reason, the major essence of using pronoun to replace noun or noun phrases is to avoid unnecessary repetition of the same nouns or noun phrases. For instance, let me use Michael, the word Michael, the noun Michael, to make maybe in 2 or 3 sentences. And said, Michael has gone to school. Michael has eaten the food. Michael is sleeping. Michael has gone to school. Michael is eating the food. Michael is sleeping. Now, what the theory of pronoun is telling us is that to avoid mentioning Michael for many times, there is need to use a word to replace it to avoid mentioning it many times. So the best will now be is that Michael has gone to school. He has eaten the food. He. So the word he is a pronoun and has been used to replace understood noun. The understood noun is Michael, and he has been used to replace it. Take note of that. Now, here we also have other examples. Patrick quarreled with Mary, and he warned her not to exhibit such bad attitude again. Our major concern is on he and her. The he is standing for, the her is standing for. Now, the he is a pronoun and is standing for Patrick because Patrick is a masculine gender and he is a masculine pronoun used to replace a masculine gender. Why her is a feminine word used to replace a feminine gender, Mary. So the appropriate pronouns will always be used. But our interest in the definition is that a word will be used to replace a noun to avoid unnecessary repetition of it. So it will not sound normal, although correct, but if you say Patrick quarreled with Mary, and Patrick warned Mary not to exhibit such attitude. If you continue the sentence and we begin to mention Patrick, Mary, Patrick, Mary, Patrick, Mary, without using the appropriate pronouns to replace them, it will sound monotony and it would not be good. That is the essence of pronoun. So pronouns are used to substitute noun, eliminating noun completely. Take note of that. They are used to eliminate noun completely. They are not modifying noun. They are not giving additional meaning to nouns. It is only adjectives and determinants that give additional meaning to nouns, but pronouns are not giving additional meanings to nouns. Pronoun replaced noun completely. The understood noun in subsequent time, it will replace it completely and stand in the position of the noun. That is probably why all the functions of the nouns are performed by pronouns, such as subject of the verb, object of the verb, subject of the complement, object of the complement, object of the preposition, among others. To every function the noun performs, the pronoun performs it, because pronouns originally are words used to replace noun, to eliminate noun, to stand in place of the noun, to avoid unnecessary repetition. Differences between pronouns and nouns. Now recall that we have emphasized that pronouns are used to replace noun to avoid repetition. But it is necessary for you to know that even though pronouns are used to replace nouns, that there are some attributes in pronouns that are not in nouns. There are some attributes in nouns that are not in pronouns. That calls for differences between pronouns and nouns. So even though you are replacing pronouns with noun, you are using pronouns to replace noun, there are some things you won't do while doing that. And number one is that pronouns do not admit determinants. Have you seen it? Very soon we'll discuss the term determinants, the minor part of speech called determinants. But during the time we discussed adjective last week, we always mention determinants because two of them are modifying nouns. Only that there are little bit difference between determinants and adjectives. Now, we have said pronouns do not admit determinants. Noun will admit determinants. Pronouns will not admit determinants, especially common nouns will admit determinants. Proper nouns will not admit determinants, but common noun will admit determinants. So, for instance, we can say the school is located in Yelu. The school is located in Yelu. The word the preceding school is a determiner modifying the school, which is a noun. So determiner, noun can accept determiner, can admit determiner. But pronoun, if you want to replace that noun, school, with the appropriate pronoun, which is it, we cannot say the it. The it is located at yellow. No, we can't say the it is located at yellow. The correct sentence will be it is located at yellow. The pronoun it has been used to replace the noun phrase the school. Remember, pronouns are used to replace noun or noun phrases. Noun or noun phrases. So it here has been used to replace the noun phrase without activating determinants. The same apply here and here. Take note of that. Number two, pronouns often have an objective case. Now, in a noun, remember in our discussion of nouns, our last lecture, we talked about noun occupying the subject position and the object position. Because majorly we discuss about the position of each of the part of speech. The noun majorly occur both in subject and in object position. Subject are nouns coming before the verb, object are nouns coming after the verb. We also emphasize about the position of the verb. That verb occurred in between noun. Immediately after noun, the next you see a verb, whether begin with auxiliary verb or the main verb. Then we also talk about the position of adjective. And adjective are used to place before the noun or modify noun. They can come before the noun or after the noun, then modified. We also talk about the position of adverb. An adverb can be pre-verb, among others. They can be placed before the verb. They can modify it in terms of modification. They can modify adverb. All of this, we also do it in minor speech. So in pronoun, since nouns can be occur in subject position and in object position. The object are noun coming after the verb, subject are noun coming before the verb. And since noun are used or can stand or can function in subject position and in object position, pronoun also can also occur in both subject and object position. But we are saying that pronouns often have an objective case. So the objective case pronouns are always different from the subjective case pronoun. The objective case pronouns are always different from the subjective case pronoun. But the difference are not noticing in noun. Both the subject, the noun you use in the subject is also the same you use in object. There is no difference. So now in our sentence one, we said Cordelia invited Cordelia to the party. So maybe this is another Cordelia that the first Cordelia has invited. There are two Cordelias. The first one is inviting the second one. And in that case, there is no any difference in the objective case to replace it with another one. We repeat it. But this is number 2, not 3, sorry for that. But in pronouns, she, subject, and that is Cordelia, she replacing the subject, and this other object, her will replace it. So there is a difference in case. There is a difference in case between the subject of pronoun and the object pronoun. But the difference in case is not noun. So it will be wrong to say she invited she to the party. She invited she to the party because once a pronoun stands in the position of the object, it would have a different morphological shape. So her becomes appropriate. The next one is pronouns often have person distinction. In person distinction, we're talking about first person, second person, third person. First person is the speaker, the one that is talking. Second person is the one talking to, and the third person is the one talking about. So if there are 3 persons in discussion, the one that is talking is called the first person. The one that the first person is talking to is called the second person. And the one that the first person is talking about is called the third person. So we can see the difference in terms of personal pronoun, possessive pronoun, and reflexive pronoun. So there is always a difference in terms of the first person. If it is singular, it's I, if it is plural, it's we. But if it is in noun, if it is singular, and if you say yam, the plural will be yams, the same yam, but it would attract a morpheme to pluralize it. Most time, the shape, the morphologic shape will not change, but pronoun would always change. Look at this, a change in the singular and the plural. And also there's a change in the singular. This is the different, this is singular, this is the plural. This is the singular, this is the plural, this is the singular, this is the plural. This one stands for masculine, this one stands for feminine, this one stands for neuter gender, but the plural is changed. Why also, in terms of the second person, we have the singular you and the plural you. So what it means is that in pronoun often have person distinction. We have the first person, second person, third person. But this first, second, third person distinction are not found in noun. So if John is talking to 3 Johns, if there are 3 Johns in the discussion, and the first John, who is the speaker, is the one talking now and says, for instance, John, the speaker now is talking to John. John, call John for me. John, call John for me. The first one that is speaking is John. And if you want to use pronoun, I called you, or called him, for me, something like that. Something like that. But all I'm trying to explain is that there is a difference in terms of person. First person, second person, third person, and see it here. We use this to replace the one that is speaking I or we, if the other one. This very well, you is the one talking to, and he, she, it, there is the one talking about. The next one is pronoun often have gender contracts. We have emphasized it earlier, masculine, feminine, and neutral gender. Even though there's also gender contracts in noun, in terms of name. There are some names that the female counterpart will not answer. There are some names that the male counterpart will not answer. But for instance, the word miracle can assume that it's a female name, but a man can still answer miracle. Yeah, a man can still answer miracle. But when you are referring to the same noun, the same man, or the same masculine, you will not use a different pronoun in terms of gender in place of the other. So if the miracle that you are talking about is a man, you use he. If the miracle that you are talking about is a woman, you use she. So we can do it in personal pronoun, we can do it in reflexive pronoun. We can do it in personal pronoun in subjective case. This one personal pronoun in subjective case. This one personal pronoun in objective case. We can find it in reflexive pronoun, and we can find it in possessive pronouns. Singular and plural form are often not morphologically related. We are emphasizing earlier that in terms of noun, look at it, the singular boy, the plural boys, they are related. The same base form of the noun is repeated here, and only but a morpheme has been added to make it plural. The base form mangoed is here and repeated here, only that a morpheme, yes, has been added to make it plural. But here, look at the singular, he, she, and the base has changed completely. The same here, I, and the plural, the base has changed, or the root, you can say the root has been changed completely, and the root has been changed completely. Different from this, yet it is the plural of this, just as mangoes is the plural of mango, we is the plural of I, just as boys is the plural of boy, there is the plural of he or she. That is why it is a singular and plural form, not morphologically related. So I think the last one here, number 6, is except pronoun ending in one or body, somebody, someone, one or body, somebody, someone, other pronouns are not inflected with X genitive to show possessive. Other pronouns are not inflected with S genitive to show possessive. So when we're talking about possessive pronoun, it is only pronouns that ends in body or in one that can have S genitive, S possessive. But others, this somebody's book is the same thing as my book. Whose book? Our book, his book, her book, their book. But why this attract possessive? Like the nouns. These are the only ones that attract possessive, like the noun and the possessive noun as in James' books, James's books, John's books, Michael's book. Only these two. Others, no. So if, for instance, we said James books, James books is here. I want to replace it with a pronoun. We say his book is here. But the noun has attracted possessive X. James or James's or John's book. There is a possessive X attracts to John, just like this body, somebody, and someone. Apart from these two that exhibit as a noun, other pronouns do not accept as genitive. That's what we're talking about. That's a pronoun we see why we divide the class into two. We are going to resolve this, look at different types of pronouns. Later about we said specific, indefinite, central, others. But for us, just know that these are the type of pronouns: personal pronouns, reflexive pronouns, possessive pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, indefinite pronouns, relative pronouns, interrogative pronouns, and demonstrative pronouns. So, and each of these also has sub-classification. That is why we divide the class into two. After this class, mathematics will come in, and after mathematics, I will come and finish it up where we stop. Personal pronoun. Personal pronouns are pronouns that tell who is actually speaking. We said it first person, who is spoken to second person, and who or she is spoken about third person. So what it means is that a personal pronoun, we are looking at the speaker, the ones talking to, and the other talking about. In other words, personal pronouns are divided into what? First person, second person, and third person. And in the first person, we have the singular and plural. The plural of the one that is talking is I, and the singular is I, the plural is we. In terms of possessive, the one that is talking is mine, the plural is ours. In terms of objective case, this one is subjective case. Subject case occurs in the subject position. In terms of object case, the one that is talking to is me. The one that is either plural is us. For example, I am going. We are going. Mine is here. If I want to say my book, and I want to replace the phrase my book with a pronoun, I say mine is here. If I want to use pronouns, ours is here. Then, if I want to replace it with the objective case pronoun, I will say, I am, he is talking to me. I am the speaker now. He is talking to me. He is talking to us. We have more than one person, including the speaker. Take note of that. Then we have second person. There is no further distinction in terms of the subject position. You is you. Even in the object position, you is you. Singular you, plural you. It's just the notion for you to know whether you are talking to one person or more than one person. In terms of possessive, yours. Look at the examples. The books are yours. And you look happy. Either you are talking to one person or you are talking to more than one person. Either you are referring to one or more. Then the next is third person. In terms of third person, in terms of subject position, we have he, she, it, and there. He is talking to me. He or she or it is talking to me. If at all object of this one can talk. Or they are talking to me. If it is subject position. But if it is object, I am talking to him, I am talking to her, I am talking to it, something like that. Or if plural, I am talking to them. And if it is possessive, his is here. For I want to replace the book, his book is here with pronoun. I would say his is here, hers is here, its is here. But if I want to use plural, I would say theirs are here, theirs are here. Out of that, we are done with the possessive pronoun. The next one is reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronoun, objective case pronouns. Objective case pronouns that refer to the subject position. Now look at the definitions. Reflexive pronouns are pronouns used in the object position. Take note of the object position that refer to the noun in the subject position. They are used in the object position to refer to the noun in the subject position. So they reflect back to the subject. They are the antecedent. They say something to the antecedent. The antecedent is the subject. And what they are is the same thing with the subject. For instance, I advise myself. Yes, I, is the speaker, the one that is speaking. And myself is the reflexive pronoun that is used to replace, that is used to refer. Instead of saying I advise I advise I, or John advised John, the same John, or let us say Uche advised Uche, Uche advised Uche. It's wrong. So there's supposed to be a pronouns to reflect Uche, to avoid repetition. So we cannot say Uche advised himself. Uche advised himself. So this one is the speaker. And we cannot say we understood the speaker, and the speaker has already used the pronouns I, and he will not repeat the same I in the object position. So, and it will be wrong to say I advise I. So there should be a pronoun that will reflect, that will reflect, that will say something back to the subject. And that type of pronoun is called reflexive pronouns. We have some of them, majority of them, and the singular N in self and the plural N in selves. Himself, myself, ourselves, themselves, etc. The next one is possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns shows ownership. Just like what we said before about the genitive case pronouns, that some pronoun will accept ownership, will accept apostrophe X, while others will not accept apostrophe X. In this very case, we are talking about the possessive. It shows ownership. Who is the original owner of it? So with the apostrophe X in noun, the apostrophe X in noun shows ownership. But in terms of pronoun, it is only the one that ends in body and one that will attract apostrophe X. Others will not. Now, within the possessive pronouns, we classify it into two: nominal possessive pronoun and attributive possessive pronouns. Take note of the two because it's going to be confusing with determinants. Nominal possessive pronoun and attributive possessive pronoun. I'm going to differentiate so that you know the difference between the two. Now look at the nominal possessive here. These are pronouns used with light genitive. They are capable of replacing possessive or genitive nouns which are previously named or understood. They do not precede any other noun. They do not precede noun. This set of pronouns, they do not precede. They replace the noun completely. They eliminate the noun completely. Take note of that. Unlike those in attributive. So those in attributive will not eliminate the noun. They will be placed before the noun. So when you place it before the noun, we can just simply say They are attributive possessive. In other words, they are determinants. Yes. But when you eliminate the noun completely, it functions as pronoun. So nominal possessive pronouns originally are the possessive pronouns, while attributive possessive pronouns can be classified as determinants because they are preceding noun, they do not eliminate noun. Some of us will say that says pronoun. Why they are preceding noun? We say they are pronouns. They are not pronouns because they do not eliminate the noun. Take note of that. They do not precede any other noun, unlike those in the attributive. They stand alone as they replace nouns. They stand alone as they replace nouns. They are his, hers, it, as, yours, and mine. Now look at the sentence example we used. The phone is John's home. Now look at this noun, and this one is possessive noun. This one is the noun. This one is noun. This one is possessive. Placing before the noun. Oh, it's just like the phone is John's phone. The phone is John's phone. So the phone here becomes the noun. John here becomes the possessive. I'm going to replace this phrase, John's phone or John's phone. You want to replace it with the pronoun. It becomes the phone is his. The phone is his. So this is here has replaced this noun phrases completely. So if you say the phone is the phone is his own, the phone is his own. This is here is not used as a pronoun. Take note of that. It is not used as a pronoun. It is now used as a determinant, which we call attributive possessive or attributive determinant, because it does not eliminate the noun. It precedes the noun. It modifies the noun. It shows the ownership of the noun. But when it eliminates the noun or the noun phrase completely, it functions as pronouns. The same is attributed to here. The book is Mary's book. The book is Mary's book. The book is hers. Replacing it completely. So if you say the book is her book, the book is her book, then it means that you do not use her as pronouns. In fact, there will be no even the spelling S. It will be eliminated. To now be the book is her book, and as such, her is not functioning as a pronoun. But in this instance, it is functioning as a pronoun. One, it has completely eliminated the noun or the noun phrase and stand in its position. This is showing the possession, the ownership. My file, mine. So if you said my file and you said as been stolen, you said my file again. No, this one is a pronoun, a possessive pronoun that has completely eliminated the noun phrase my file. This very one, my here is attributive. This my is attributive. It's modifying the file, showing possession of the file. In other words, it serves as a determiner, not as a pronoun. But this mine here serves as a pronoun because it has completely eliminated the noun or the noun phrase and stand for it, although we understood it and stand for it. That is what we are talking about. And the same is applicable here. Adam's wife is wife. The attributive is the one I've already explained. Look at it. My friend has gone. My friend. This my here is a determiner. It's not a pronoun. Take note. You are here. Say, if it is a pronoun, it's mine. If it is a pronoun, it's yours. If it is a pronoun, it's hers. And this very one, although the pronoun and the determiner are spelled the same, but for the fact that it's modified, is placed before the noun. It is not serving as a pronoun. It is serving as a determiner. That is why you call it attributive. Placed before the noun that is modified. But if we want to use it as a pronoun, say his is here. His is here. But once there is a noun and the pronoun does not eliminate the noun, it ceases to function as a pronoun. and therefore function as a determiner in structural grammar, or what classical grammarian can call adjectives. Take note of that. Reciprocal pronouns. Here we will talk about an action, a stage of action. Talk about a stage of action. Reciprocal pronouns. There is an stage. There are two or more people involved, and each of them there is an action change simultaneously between them. So in this case, we use each other if we are talking about two persons, or one another if we are talking about one person. There is a very big difference between reciprocal pronouns and reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronoun talking about himself, herself. The object case pronoun is the same as the subject. But in reciprocal, we are talking about a stage. If we say Uche fight John, Uche fight John, and we want to use reciprocal pronouns, we can simply say they fight each other. So what it means is that Uche fights John, John fights Uche, Uche fights John, John fights Uche. Two of them are exchanging actions simultaneously. And instead of us to say Uche fights John, John fights Uche, we can say Uche and John fight each other. Rather than replacing mentioning Uche and John continuously. So it will be wrong for us to say Uche and John fight themselves. You see, fight themselves, because in themselves there is no exchange of action. Themselves is a reflexive pronoun that reflects, that says something back to the antecedent, which is the noun or the pronoun or whatever they're about. But we use reciprocal to prove that there's an exchange of action. While reflexive, there is no exchange of action. Instead, the object case is referring to the subject case. But when the action is more than one person, we use one another. If there are more than two persons, sorry, not two persons, more than two persons, that's 3, 4, 5, we use one another. So it would be wrong to say Uche and John fight one another. No, there are two persons involved. So look at it here. Mabel and Mary and Mabel quarreled Mary and Mabel yesterday. So we are replacing this Mary and Mabel to avoid unnecessary repetition. See, reciprocal without pronoun, reciprocal pronoun. Mary and John quarreled with each other yesterday. So this each other here has replaced Mary and John to avoid being repeated many times. You can see it here. Mary, John, and Mabel quarreled. Mary, John, and Mabel yesterday. Now, we use one another because there are more than one. There are more than one. There are more than two persons. Sorry, there are more than two. There are 3 or more. So we use one another. Namely, Mary, John, and Mabel quarreled with one another yesterday. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used to give additional information about the nouns in a clause or phrase. Relative pronouns behaves like adjectives. They equally behaves like determiners because they give additional meaning. So it is necessary for you to know when a word is used as a determiner and when a word is used as a pronoun. We have, in terms of possessive pronoun, we have done a very little difference about it. That same particular word, but its position will determine if it is either a pronoun or functioning as an adjective. The same is applicable to relative pronouns. Even though they are modifying, they are standing in place of the noun, showing what? Giving additional information about the noun. There are some occasions that you may use it, and they may not function as relative pronoun. They will function as another part of speech. So relative pronouns are used to join a clause to its antecedent. They replace the second noun or noun phrase. Relative pronouns are divided into two. Personal relative, we use this who, whom, whose, and that. And non-personal relatives, which, whose, and that. So what we mean is that this one cannot be used for personal, for persons, which we don't use it for person. And who and whom, we don't use it for non-personal, for animal, things, and others. That is what we mean. But we can use that, whose, and that for both persons and non-persons. Now look at the sentence here. The man who killed the goat is here. Now this who, what is it functioning? Is standing in the place of the second noun. Remember that second noun that is used to give additional meaning or additional information to the first noun is being replaced. Instead of saying the man killed the goat is here. The man killed the goat is here. The second phrase, the man, is being replaced with a pronoun known as relative pronouns to show additional information about the one we are talking about. So instead of saying the man, we now say the man who killed the goat. Now, this who here is a pronoun. In addition to the verb and the object, is giving additional information about the man. So, what our concern here is on the pronoun who that replaced the man to avoid repeating it for second time. But when we begin to discuss clauses, who kill the goat will now serve as adjectival clause. But when the time comes, it are giving additional information about all of them. But here we are looking onto a particular word, replacing a noun or noun phrase. So the man kills the goat is here, and the word who, which is a pronoun, which is a personal relative pronoun, who has been used to replace it. So if it is a non-personal, which is the tiger killed the goat, is here, it will be the tiger which killed the goat is here, because which is used for non-personal, while who is used for personal. Take note of that. Then the second example is Okeke, whom we laugh at has been employed. Also, when we proceed further, you know there is a difference. This whom is object, is standing for object case pronoun. Who is standing for subject case pronoun. So it means that we can divide this sentence. These ones are two clauses embedded in one. We can say the man killed the goat. The man killed the goat. That is the first sentence. The man is here. That is the second sentence or the second clause. The man killed the goat. The first clause. The man is here. The second clause. Now, to avoid the man, we use subject relative pronoun because we are replacing the subject. The man kills the goat. The man is here. So the second one, the man is here, and we are replacing with who, and embedded in the heart of the first sentence has made the pronoun used will be subject case pronoun. This is subject case pronoun. While whom is object case pronoun. So if the noun we are replacing is in the object position, we use whom. if the one we are replacing is in the subject position, we use who. So the second sentence, Okeke, whom we laugh at, has been here. There are two clauses in one sentence. Let us segment the two clauses now. Okeke has been employed. We laugh at Okeke. Okeke has been employed. Number one clause. Number two clause is we laugh at Okeke. Now, the second Okeke that we replace with pronoun is coming after the verb, is standing at the object position. Standing at object position. And that is why whom will be used. Because the second Okeke you are replacing is in the object position. Okeke has been employed. We laugh at Okeke. So that Okeke, the second one, we want to replace in object position. And to replace it, we embedded the two clauses into one sentence. And it becomes Okeke, whom we laugh at, has been employed. How we are following? We shall see rounds of interrogative pronouns. Here are pronouns that we use to ask questions. We use it mostly to ask questions, and there are who, whose, whom, what, and which. Can divide them into two, personal and non-personal, just like we did to relative, personal and non-personal. We also do it to interrogative pronouns. And look at the personal used for persons, whom, whose, and which. Even which here can be used as person, unlike in the relative that we said which cannot be used for person, and the who and whom cannot be used for a non-person. Here, which can be used also for person to ask question for person, and which also can be used for non-person and what. But what cannot be used for person, and the who, whom, and whose cannot be used for non-person. Take note of that. Look at the way we have derived the question, see the answered. Now, remember, pronouns are used to replace understood noun. Pronouns are used to replace understood noun. Look at the question you ask, who told you? Who told you? So there is this who here is standing for a noun. And that noun must be known. You have already understood it. And which of the noun that you have understood is, look at it, Jacob told me. And Jacob is subject. That is why we use who. Who is coming? Jacob is coming. Jacob is subject, and that is why we use who. Whom are you? Whom have you told? I told Jacob. That is why we use whom, because Jacob is in what? The object position. We said it earlier. Whom have you told? I told Jacob, not Jacob told me. Whom have you told? Whom have you told? I told Jacob. And that is why that Jacob here is in one object position. And that is why whom is selected. The same is applicable here. Whom does your mother complain to? This you want the understood noun is your mother complained to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth is in what? The object position. And that is why whom is selected. Object position, whom is selected. Look at Elizabeth coming after the verb. Which would the doctor see first? The doctor will see the patients on red first. So the doctor here is what? Is subject. There is an error here. Is subject, not object. Which would the doctor see first? The doctor. The doctor standing for which? No. Which would the doctor see first? That's correct. It is not. It is the patients. They will see the patients on red. It is the patients on red. The patients on red, that is object is correct. So this underline here supposed to be the patients on red. There's an error here. The patients on red is the one the doctor will see first. The patients on red is the one the doctor will see first. And the patients on red is the object position which is used. But we can still use which for subject. Which of the code come first? The code. Which of them come first? The code come first. You see, which of them come first? It is the code, and the code is in subject. Subject, and that's why I said so which can be used for both object and subject. Whose and whose. We can use whose for subject and object, not like which and which. And look at it. Whose mother has not arrived? Jacob's mother, subject. Whose did you find? I find Ada's cloth, object. Take note of that. You can do more exercises for yourself. And I think this one is the last demonstrative pronouns. This one, demonstrative pronouns indicate you point out to the object you are referring to. You point the object you are talking about, you point it. So look at the definition. These are pronouns that used to point out particular person, places, or things that are nearer or farther away from us. So the object, we are talking to the object and you are pointing at the object. So what we are doing, if we are using a pronoun to replace that object you are pointing at, or the person or the places you are pointing at, that pronoun we are using, we call it demonstrative. And they have a number of contracts. First, they point to the persons or object nearer to us. The one that's nearer to us, that's how we use this and this. If the object or the person is nearer to us, we use this and this. And second, they point to persons or objects that are further away from us. So if the object is far away from us, we use that and those. This and these. This singular, this plural. If the object is close. If the pronouns you are replacing is close to you, you are pointing it close. But if it is far, we use that and those. That is singular, the same as these, and those plural, the same as these. You can see near in time reference, this and this, singular plural, the one that is far, that and those. I've really explained it. And look at sentence examples I've given. This orange. Now, the demonstrative is a determiner. Remember, we are always mentioning determiner because most learners do not differentiate between determiners and pronoun. This orange, this very one this year, before the orange, is not functioning as a pronoun. But this one that has eliminated the noun orange is functioning as a pronoun. Take note of that, very, very important. This one is functioning as a determiner, just like the possessive pronoun and possessive determiner. It's the same thing as demonstrative. So we are pointing this orange. The orange is very close. We are pointing at it, this orange. And it is this orange here. We are going to replace this noun phrase, this orange, with a pronoun. This is mine. This is, you understood this is what? The orange. This is mine. This is a pronoun standing in place of this orange, eliminating the noun phrase this orange, and standing for the because it has been understood. The same is applicable to that girl is Ada, that is Ada, these oranges are good, these are good. Now that girl is Ada is that you are pointing at Ada who is far away from you. So you are pointing it. And actually it's just one person. So you are pointing it at her far. But if there are two, those, you use those. If there are two, those. So just you can do more practical about it. Indefinite pronouns. These ones do not look at it, they do not refer to any person, place, or thing in particular. They refer to one or more unspecified persons, objects, things, or places. The reason why they are called indefinite is because they do not indicate the exact person, object, or place to which they refer to. This one they do not indicate. Look at them here. So anytime you use it, we may not. The reason is that because they do not indicate the exact person. So if you say someone is calling you, the exact person is not indicated, but that someone is just like what do we call it? Just like interrogative pronoun. That someone is standing. John is calling you, but rather than you are replacing and you don't want to mention somebody's name, and you're using a pronoun, that pronoun, if you don't want to mention the pronoun you are using is indefinite pronoun, and that is why it should be someone is calling you. So you see, everybody is here. John is here. Michael is here. Joseph is here. But you don't want to mention somebody's name. I want to replace that understood noun with a pronoun. Say everybody is here. I told nobody the case. I did not tell John. I did not tell any person. I did not tell John the case. I did not tell Okon the case. But you don't want to, the understood noun is there. And you want to use pronoun. You use the pronoun we call indefinite pronoun. So you see the examples given here. And we can end the class here. When we come back, we shall discuss the remaining three minor part of speech, which is preposition, conjunction, and the determinants when we come back, because there are so many sub-classifications of a pronoun. There are so many sub-classifications of pronouns. So we spend much time in discussing the pronoun. So we can end the class here now. After mathematics class, we shall come back to begin from preposition. And after that, there is going to be an exercise for you to submit once you resume. Thank you very much. Okay.